Hello and good morning to all my Watercolor Wednesday friends. Hello, all of you out there. I am so happy to be back again with another watercolor project. So I am going to just check my comments right now and see who all of my friends are on. So be sure to say hi to me. All of you that are on YouTube, hello to all of you, and Facebook, hello. So good to be with both of you. I am just setting these comments up so I will be able to see who is on. I wanted to share something first before we get into our project, a big announcement. Our watercolor catalog, our new one, is now available on our website. So I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. This is just out, and of course you guys are the first to hear about it. Everything in this catalog is watercolor related. So stamps and dies that relate to watercolor stamping, journaling, the journals that we do, and the Bible journaling too. So that includes everything that we have to date released for watercolor in the watercolor category on our website. So you will want to have this. You can go through it, you can check off what you have and what is still on your wish list. So I'll kind of show you a little bit closer view when we switch the camera around. But you guys, we are so excited to have this available now. And is this cover cute? I just think this is so cute. Joel put this together and he always does just a fabulous job. So that is available right now. Okay, I see my people on. Hello to all of you. Galinda, hello, hello. Debbie is on. Ruth Ann, hello, Ruth Ann. She's in the house. Diana, hello. Happy Watercolor Wednesday to you too. Carolyn, Ellen, hello. Christine, Northern California, hello. Carol Meyer, hello. Hi to all of you. Jeanette, hello. Linda, hi. So good to see all of you on here. It's just like, being with my people. That's how I feel. Being with my people. So today for our project, okay, last time I was on, so all of you know that Kim was on last week. She introduced her new panda set, which is that the cutest thing you've ever seen? So cute. She has a love for animals and nature, and she has a different style than I do. She likes things that are more realistic, and I am much more whimsical in the art that I do. So I love having her because she sort of fills in that area, my weaknesses, where it's harder for me to do those realistic, looking characters and animals. And she's so good at it. So she introduced her new panda set, which we are thrilled about. And you guys love it. You guys have loved it. So that's really encouraging for her too. So anyway, she did that last week, and then the week before, I did a little 3D project, this little one, you guys, and you guys just loved it. You loved it. So we're going to do another one today. Another really simple one, a little more detail into this one, because, I got to challenge you guys. So we're going to do a little bit of detail in this one, a little bit more, but we're going to lay it out the exact same way as we did the other one. A little bit of a size change, but you can do any size with these. You honestly can. You can go smaller or you can go larger. So we're going to do that. We're going to do another one of those today. But before I do, let me look through my comments again and just see who all is on here. Melody from Elk Grove. We've stayed in Elk Grove many, many, many times on our way down to Southern California. Carol says, love the panda set. Yep, keeps those amazing animals coming, Kim is right. She loves birds, she loves nature, loves animals. That's her favorite thing to draw. So, fortunately for us, because we just love that too. Tina, I'm good. Thank you for asking. She says, hi, how are you today? I am good. I'm always good on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is always a good day because, it's an excuse to watercolor. And I love that. And I love finding something new to teach you guys. That's always my favorite thing. What specific thing can I teach you today? Even if it's a little thing. Sometimes a little thing is a ginormous thing. A little tiny trick or a little tiny thing that maybe you just didn't think of. And maybe you'll learn something new today. I hope so. Let's see, Dawn, Diane, hello, Diane, Julina, hello, good morning, Queen. Thanks, Julina. Margaret from Ohio. Andrea, hello. Andrea from New Mexico. Good to see you on here. Okay, you guys. Julie says, yes, tips are amazing. You know, and sometimes for me too, when I'm doing these projects, I mean, if you look back on some of my projects, even from a few years ago, to me, they look like night and day. I'm like, wow, I've just, what was I thinking back then? And so we grow and we learn, with these things. And that's why practice is so important. The more of these projects that you do, the better at it you're going to get. I promise. You really will. And most of the time, I'm doing them twice. So even though I'm coming on here with a finished project, I absolutely guarantee I've done it at least twice, because I look at it later and I think, you know what, maybe I'll change up the color, maybe I'll, put something different in there. And so that's just part of the process of learning is, critiquing your work, but not giving up. You gotta just keep going, because you will get better and better and better. And I can see my progress, so I know that, and especially looking at some of you who've been doing this for a long time, when you pull out your early work, that's why I tell you to put the date on there. It's so important to do that. Look at something that you did even a year ago, and you'll be really encouraged to see the progress that you've made. Okay, Christine says you never disappoint. How kind. That is so kind. That just absolutely makes my day. Carolyn, you're the bestest. You guys are the bestest. You guys. I can't do this without you out there. This is always my goal, is to encourage you and to teach you. I just love that about what I do. I love it. And I feel like everybody kind of wants to make something beautiful. They really do. And they want to make something that they can give away to someone. And especially now, people need to be encouraged. Wow. So sending something beautiful that you have made. And the other big thing, that it doesn't take you 9 hours to create, or 9 days. We can make these, even if you think you're a little slow, on the slow side, or a beginner, you're still only in it, maybe 30 minutes to an hour for a little project. That's not that bad. And, some of these cards, they take that long. These really, detailed cards, they take a long time to make. So that labor of love that you give to somebody, it really means a lot to them. So, Kathy, hello. Kathy is on. Good to see all of you. Brenda says Happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much, Brenda. Happy Mother's Day coming up this Sunday to all you moms out there, and grandmas and stepmoms and, aunts, all of you who have kids in your life. What a privilege, huh? Okay, I am enough of this chatter. So let me just show you one more time the new catalog. This is available on our website. I'm going to flip through it a little bit so that you can see it when I flip the camera around, and then we will get to our project. You guys are going to love this one. All right, here we go. Let me just switch this. Okay, here we go. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Whoops, wrong way. I'm still learning these buttons, you guys. I think I need a little piece of tape with a direction on it, because I have to have Joel in the room. So let's just, that about says it all. I need to have him in the room with me when I'm on here. Okay, here is the catalog, and it is, okay, so here's the big thing about the catalog for me, is the size of the SKUs. You guys, look how big these SKU numbers are. Okay, you can just look at this and see it instantly. And look how tiny they used to be. They're so tiny. And, even with my glasses on, I'm still like straining to see sometimes. So Joel went in here and made these SKUs all really big. Everything is in here. You guys, this catalog is just loaded. All the paper packs are in here. Here's all the supplies that you need to start out. Palettes, pins, our favorite bleed proof white. This is all in here. Everything is in here, including our newest releases, up to date. So Joel has really, jammed this full. So all the die sets are in here. Everything that is regarding watercolor or made for watercolor. Now that doesn't mean that it doesn't cross over. It does. It crosses over to all of you people out there who are just, admire so much, that are Copic artists, watercolor, and, colored pencils. All of these can cross over too. but they were released specifically with a watercolor project in mind. So you can see just pages and pages of just all of these sets that you can kind of go through and check off, you know, what you still need to order, and maybe something that you forgot we had. So anyway, it is just loaded. It's pages and pages of watercolor. So check this out on our website, available right now, you guys. So we are going to now get on to our project, and I'm going to zoom in because this is a little one. So last time we put it in a card. So I made it like this with a little frame, and then we just opened it up, and here was our little project inside. This was on the simple scale, so easy. This is as far over on the simple scale as you can get. This was a very simple project, and you guys seem to just love it. So I thought I'm just going to do one more because I thought it was really fun too. And we're doing it a little different. So you can see how these lines come down this way. Both of them come down this way. You can cross those lines and go this way, or you can do them a little straighter, which is what I have on this one. So I just, you know, always want to kind of mix it up a little bit. Let me turn this so that you can see where the different layers are on this. And I've used a few more things in each layer. So I pulled out my little boats, and I'll show you which sets these come from. Pulled out the boats, my little gate here, a little bigger structure in the background. And then I just added this little stump in the front because, again, I have some of these sets, I haven't used them in so long. And, you know, when we release them, I have, you know, about 1 or 2 lives that I can really show it, but there are so many other ways to use it. So it's really fun to pull these out and use them in different ways. Now this one I put in a frame because I just think these little projects should be framed. I really do. Framed in a card for sure, and also in a frame like this. Now this one is a 4x4, and let me tell you what size this canvas is because I made it a little bit bigger. This is a 2.5-inch square canvas, and the die that I used is from our nested die set. So it's these two. So this one, this is the 2.5-inch, this one right here. And then this one is 3 and about 1, let's see, and a quarter. 3 and a quarter is this one. And these are the two that I used to frame this little project. And I think it turned out really cute. This frame comes with a mat. And I bought this on Amazon. It comes in gold, it comes in black, I think it comes in bronze, you know, 4 or 5 different colors. This is a 4x4 frame. So 4-inch by 4-inch. And the opening is a 3-inch. So that's what you're looking for. You want the opening to be similar to your project size. And I think, you know, these little mats where you can kind of inset this, it just looks so professional. It really does. It's so cute to put in a frame. This is a great gift to give someone. It really is. They will just love it. Now it comes with, so here's kind of how it comes. It comes with this, you can see this, it's plastic, so it's not glass on the front, but I took that out and I think it looks more like a real painting, not to have that glass on there. And it kind of, you know, has a 3D look. Leah just posted the link to Amazon. So if you want to look at these are just a great size. These are a really great size because they're 4x4. Also, another really, really great size would be a 6x6. And I did order one of those so that I could show you, but it didn't make it here in time. So maybe I'll show that to you on the next live. But a 6x6 with a little 3-inch opening is much easier to find than a 4x4 with like a 2-inch opening or a 2.5-inch opening. It's really hard to find those. So a 3-inch opening is a pretty standard size. You'll be able to find that pretty easily. And okay, Karen, what type of cutting machine do you recommend? You know what? I have a Big Shot. I also have a Gemini, but I go to my Big Shot. Is that what you're asking about, die cutting machine? I use my Big Shot mostly. Honestly, I've had it forever. And I just feel like it does the job. The Gemini is electric, and it just takes longer to run it through. And I'm such an impatient person. I need it done like right now, immediately. So that's what I use. Um, so a 3-inch opening. Now it's still going to be smaller unless you make your canvas 3 inches. You can do a 3-inch canvas. Absolutely. I made mine a little bit smaller. So this is the size that mine is. And remember, we're cutting 3, so we'll go through this. But this is the size that it is. It's a 2.5-inch square canvas. Now you're still going to have this area that's not inside the mat, that's showing through. So I just cut this one also. And then when you put it in there, see, this is going to show through. See this little edge right here? That's this one. So it'll fit, behind. Here, let me just show you guys, because I'm so much better at showing. This is how I learn. I learn by seeing. And I don't know if that's the same with you guys, but I would much rather somebody show me something than try to explain it. So here is the frame, and it comes with the mat. So this is the mat that comes with it. So what I did was I just cut a little bigger one than my canvas, and I put it in here, see, like this. I put it in here like this, and see, it's just big enough. It just kind of fills in the gap of that mat and your canvas. Now your canvas will fit perfectly inside here. It'll fit perfectly. So I just cut this one out of the opening of this. So I hope I didn't just totally confuse you guys, but this one is, I measured this, didn't I? This was 3 1/4, and I just cut this out of it like this. So now I have the opening in my frame. See, just like this. And then your canvas just fits right inside, perfectly fits. And I just think it's so cute. And I really like it without the face in there, the little plastic. I really like it without that. That's totally up to you if you want to put that back in. But because it's 3-dimensional too, it might kind of bend a little bit too when you're putting it over the top. You just have to experiment with that if you like that finished look. So anyway, you guys, I just love this little frame. I think it's so cute. A 4-inch frame with a 3-inch mat opening is what you're looking for, or a 6. A 6x6 would also be so cute with a small little canvas in the middle. I think that would just be so cute. I'll show that to you next time it comes. It just didn't come here in time. So otherwise, I wanted to show you guys that too, because I also love that look. So Karen says, thanks for showing me how to do the framing. You know what, Karen? I have to see it. I really do. And I think that, showing it, actually seeing it, how it's put together, I think that makes a difference. I'm a visual, yes, me too. I'm a visual learner. Yes, Andrea. I gotta see it. Okay, how do you cut the layers? Deborah, you cut them with the dies. See, like this. These come in a set of nested dies, and they don't have to be this exact size, but your canvas size to fit your mat should be close to a 3-inch. This is 2.5. You can see it fits right inside here, because it's going to be really, really, really hard to find a 2.5-inch mat. So a 3-inch that fits in a 4-inch frame or a 6-inch frame will be pretty easy to find. And I got 4 of these in my order. So it comes with a set of 4. That link that Leah showed you comes with a set of 4. And I just picked the gold because I thought it was so cute. But like I said, there are different ones. But it's a set of 4. And I want to say it's about $20, maybe $23, something like that. So not outrageous. And I think your art should be framed. I really do. I think that. And these are really nice too. They're pretty heavy duty, and they stand up really well. So they're really nice. This is a really nice frame back here. So I'm really happy with this. So I'm happy to give you guys that link and tell you, because I think they're a really good value. All right. So let's get to our project, you guys. Let me show you what I'm using first of all, and then you can, maybe you guys can just follow along with me. So in this set, this is the mini cottages set. You could use any of these. This is the first one that I grabbed. This is the one I saw first, and I just grabbed it. But any of these little houses would be so cute back there in the background. Any of these will work. Any small structure is going to work. anything that you want to use. Here's the little boats. And I just used these two that are in the foreground. So that just means that I just inked them and I didn't ink this one back here. It was kind of a narrower spot and I didn't want to crowd it too full with the boats. You could just use one. One also would be really cute. You could just do this one. So I just picked these two out of this set. This is the bait shop set. Picked that one. And then in the weathered stumps, I picked this one. But you know what else would be really cute are these kind of fallen logs. These would be really cute too. This stump would be really cute. Any of these things. You guys, you just gotta try some different things. When I'm putting these together, I'm looking for something in the foreground, and normally I try to find something that, you know, would work in the foreground for size, and then I just grab the first thing I see. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how these projects are supposed to be. Everything is supposed to work together. It's a you know, you're buying this collection that you can just interchange and use in different ways. And so especially these little elements that come like this, you should be able to just place those. Pick any one of these. And I think these little fallen trees would be great. All right, in this one, I haven't used anything in this set in so long, and I picked this little flower right here. It's super cute. It's just a cute little daisy, and it worked great in the foreground. In the mini foliage set, we're going to use the leaves and we're going to use one of these little trees. Either one, doesn't matter which one. And we're going to kind of do it backwards with these. Normally we stamp the tree and then we add the foliage to it. Well, we're going to do it a little different this time. And in the foliage set, the grass. You know, this is a go-to always. This is why this set is important to purchase in the very beginning, because you will be using these things over and over again, especially these, the grasses and the vine. In the little barn set, so the little fence, the little gate, this one right here, we're just going to use that. All right, so let me put this aside and let's get to our project. So here's how we do this. You know, we start out by cutting three different cutouts like this. So these are 2.5 inch square. That's what these are, 2.5 inch square. The one from 2 weeks ago was 2 1/4, so a little smaller. You can go down to 2 inch square. That's also really, really cute. So let's see. We're going to do this one first. Now what we're doing with these, let me turn it over so I can just show you how to mark these. And I showed you this in the very first one, but let's go over it again. So you're going to take a pencil and you're going to lay over your project over your canvas. And what I do first is I just stamp this and do a really rough copy. So I'll just stamp the little house. I'll stamp, you know, I'll brush in the water. I won't finish it. I'll just stamp it just so that I know it fits. I'll sort of put in, you know, a tree somewhere just so that I can get my layers in and see where they're going to be. Now the house is a little bit bigger, so the top layer needs to have space for the house, and then this one. So the second layer is usually somewhere in the center of the canvas. That's usually where it falls, is in the center. Now I've got water here, so I would probably, you know, when I'm doing this, put in 2 lines for this one. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to lay my canvas. So this would be my final canvas, and I would just put in here where those lines are. So you can see here, here's where the grasses kind of fall, and then here's where the water is, kind of in here. So when I go to stamp this, I'm going to try to keep everything in this section, and then go over to this side, line it up, and do the same. So here's where the water is, and kind of here's where the grasses are. And you can see this is a pretty straight line. So it doesn't have to be a curve. It can just be a straight line like this. It's really fun to kind of play around with these and try different things. Now the bottom one, so let's go to the bottom one. And that is this, the little stump. And so we're going to lay this on here too. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show the top of the stump, because that's the image that's going to be stamped in here. That's going to go here. That's the very top of this little layer. And then down here would be kind of where the very top flowers are. So, you know, somewhere in this vicinity. This is a really rough line. It's just a really rough line. It's kind of a guess as to where everything's going to be. And then you're going to erase these. So in this area is where our bottom layer is going to be. The very top is where that stump is, and then we're going to add our little grasses and stuff in here. And this one, here's our layer for the top of the grass. It's going to be in this vicinity, and here's our layer for the water. So the water line is going to be here, and then we're going to put the grasses in somewhere in this vicinity. So it doesn't, it's not, it doesn't have to be really scientific. It has to be a rough area so that you know where to stamp, so that you can put your layers in. The thing about the second layer too, when you're doing the second layer, is that you can cut this down. So for example, if you're doing your second layer and you go to stamp this and you put this all in here and you realize, oh my word, I've put it up too high, and now I'm covering my house. So, and this is what I ran into too when I was putting this together. Is getting it exactly where you want it so that you can put your layers in. But the second layer can be moved. You can move it up or down. You can trim it down because the first layer will cover up the edge. So it won't matter where where this line is right now. So for example, if I go to stamp this and I think, oh, I've got this stamp too low, I'm just gonna move it up like this and glue it in like this so that it's up here taller. And then my third layer will just cover right over the top of that edge. So that's a really nice thing about this. When you go to do your second layer, you have a lot of flexibility moving it up and down when you go to put it in. And then your bottom layer just covers all of that. It's just the very bottom little piece down here. And this one is the smallest of all the layers. It really is. Okay, and the reason I picked water is because of the layers. So you can see here that the layers go forward, larger, and then middle, and then farther in the distance. Well, they because of the layers, you don't want the water to be out front here above everything else. I hope I'm explaining that correctly, but you have to think about the water is down inside. It's down inside. It's not above anything else. So you couldn't put your water line up here because it's going to look like it's above the house. Does that make sense, you guys? You don't want to have this come above. That's why the grass line is here, because the grass line can come above. The grass line can come above like this, and then the water sits down underneath. Okay, that's why I did the water one, because I wanted to make sure that you saw that and you didn't get confused with how to do it. So it needs to be kind of in between these. Now this one can come above, in front of, because we've got all the little flowers and everything that are kind of growing over in front of the water. Okay? Tony says, yes, I understand the concept. Yes, great. This is where I don't want to confuse you, but it's really important to see that you don't just put a water line here. If you're doing like a, maybe you're doing something like a lighthouse in the background, that your water line isn't on the edge of your layer, because that means the water is coming up above, in front of, and that wouldn't work. Andrea says, I love how this technique with layering helps you if you struggle with perspective and placement. Yes, it does, Andrea. Yes, that is a really positive thing about it. And when you put anything in a box like this, it's much more, it's much easier to sort of control where everything is. You don't worry about where everything is going, what's happening over here, what's happening on the other side of this, where's the water going. You don't have to worry about any of that. You're putting it in a boundary. And the same with these. You have your perspective in these different sections. And then eventually you can do this same thing just on a single canvas. You can do that too. So, once you have it done like this, you can see exactly where these things are going. And the middle ground is always the hardest, because we know that large things go in the foreground and we know that small things go in the background. But sometimes the middle is a challenge. And this just really helps with that. It really does. When you go to glue this layer in and then you put this right on top in front of it, you can immediately see what's happening in this composition. You can just immediately see it. Oh, this is way in the front. Oh, these boats are kind of down in the water. You know, this looks like it's on a hill and the boats are down below. That's because it's cut out and glued on top. That's why it's important to have the water down inside, down inside. You could have it on the front layer for sure. You could do that. And then you're building things as you go. Maybe a fence line. You know, if you're doing a beach scene, you could have your water in the back, you know, with maybe the lighthouse here. You can also, like I did with this one, you can see I cut out the top of this and kind of came down around all the flowers. So I could have put a little bird on here. I could have put a little bird on here. I would just cut around the bird. You would just cut around the bird and just continue on across here. And that little bird is sitting on here and it's coming forward. It's coming forward. So I just think these little layered canvases are just, they're a great teaching aid, and it helps you see perspective, and they're not intimidating. They're not intimidating. Okay, Elizabeth says, how do I get a catalog? Elizabeth, they are on our website, artimpressions.com, and you will see them in there. You could put search in there for a watercolor catalog, right, Joel?
Yeah.
In the search?
Yeah, or on the slideshow.
And they'll be on the slideshow also. Okay, Marianne says, what layer would you do first? Number 1, the first layer is what I would do first, always. And then I go to the second, and then I go to the third. But that's not an absolute rule. You can do them all individually. You can do them whatever order you want to do them. But we're going to kind of do them in that order. So what I did was I stamped my little structure. And because it's big, it needs to go right up here in the corner. You could also stamp it off, you know, the edge a little bit. That's also really cute. But I just tried to make it simple. I put my little boats in. So here's my line. Here's my water line right here. And then I'll do my little grassy area kind of above it. It's going to be about in this area, somewhere in there. And then the bottom one, this one. And you know, all these pencil lines can be erased afterwards, but it does kind of give you a guideline so that you don't just, you know, go crazy here. You have it kind of in the right vicinity. So on here you can see the first layer. This comes right up to the house. This comes right up to the house. So we don't have a lot that we have to do below the house. Here's that line right here. And I just kind of put it in just so that I could see. We're going to put a little tree in here and, you know, a little grass kind of in the background. And, you know, I did a little blue in here thinking, you know, that might be kind of cute to put a little water. Like, you know, this could be just a little peninsula that's kind of coming out here. That would be really cute. And so I just brushed that in a little bit just to see what that would look like. And I think it totally could work. It could totally work. All right, so let's get to it, you guys. Let's get to it. We're going to start out with the first canvas, and I've already penciled in my lines. Here's that line where my second layer is coming, and then here's my horizon line right here that's going next to the house. And then back here, I've just got a little background, a little hill kind of in the background. So we're going to get some color onto our palette, and let me see if I can let's just zoom. Let's zoom in a little bit closer so you guys can really see. When these canvases are so small, it's good to be able to zoom in and just see the details. Teresa says, I really like this technique. Me too, Teresa. And you know, when I'm putting these together, I've got a million other things in my head of different ones that would be so cute to do. So really, if you love this is a great exercise anyway. It's just a great exercise for your to practice your watercolor. They're quick. You could try out different things in the background, a little church in the background, or you guys, your new little freebies, your little village. You know, all of these little cute little structures would be so cute here. Look at the size of that. That's like the same exact size. They'd be so cute in here. So you could use these little ones too and make just really cute little cute canvases. You could also, which I think would be really cute, is to get a bigger canvas, so a larger one with multiple openings in it. And you could do a little series, a little village. So you could have a little coffee shop, and then maybe your little cafe, and then the ice cream shop or whatever. And you could do a series of 3 in there. That would be so cute. Your little canvases. So little canvases are they're the best. I just love it, and because I love little things. And so I love doing these little things. All right, so I've got my water handy. I've got my brush. And the first thing that we're going to do is add some color. We're going to add some color to our palette. So a little green. Whoops, let me get into the screen here. So we'll put some green on here. This is the 177 green. We're going to add some blue, so the 565. By the way, everything stamped on here is with these two colors and then stamped off. Especially stamped off because these things are so small on here. You know, the whole landscape is really small, so you want to be sure to stamp it off. The blue first and then the brown. The blue first and then the brown. The reason that I do blue first and brown is so that I don't contaminate my blue pen. But if you have a pen that you've set aside for just that, you can do the brown first and then the blue. You absolutely can. Because you're going to get a little bit more of the last color on your final impression if you do it second. So I just do the blue first and I do the brown after, and then I stamp it off at least twice. And if it's rubber, you want to stamp it off twice. If it's clear, you want to stamp it off once. The rubber will hang on to the ink much longer, so you want to stamp that off twice. So 2 colors on that. And then let's see, what other colors do we need in the background? Just that blue, I think. Maybe it's the purple. I'm into these purple shutters now, you guys, because of the last one that I did. I just think that turned out so cute. And now I'm trying to get out of my rut of the colors that I normally use and do something a little bit different. So purple is going to be my new go-to. All right, so now we're going to start out by pulling the color out of the lines. And we're going to do it at the overhang, which is just, what I always do, because that's where I know it's going to be the darkest, is under the overhang of the roof. And this area here on the side, this is going to be in the shadow, so we're going to darken that. This side of the chimney, that's going to be dark. Inside this little doorway, the little steps, and then actually just inside that window, because we're going to see this side of the window. So that's where that color is on this side, because we're standing at the corner and we're looking both directions. So on this one, we're going to see it on this side. You see that? And on this side, we're seeing it here on this one. Same with this up here. Okay? And you can see already it's starting to look three-dimensional. All right, I'm going to switch to my little brush. This is a number 1, but a 0 also would be great. And I'm going to take some of this blue and put the shadow in here on the side. This whole side of this little house is going to be darker because it's in the shadow. And this is going to really give us that 3D effect. Make sure that your line right here, this line, is really sharp. It's really sharp. Don't get any blue over that line. It's kind of one of those rules. You can go a little bit darker here on this side. And then let's get the dark blue line, this dark blue line in here. It's also just really important to get that shadow in. And a little bit under here also. Okay? Let's put in our little purple door. And it's always better to start out light. Start out light, and you can always add more color. You can always build the color and go a little bit darker. Like that. And then let's just put in some little shutters, and shutters are just the easiest to put in. It's literally just a line on each side. You could do these back here too if you wanted to. I just did the 2 on the front. Okay, let's get some brown on here. So this is the 947. And we'll get just a little bit of this brown onto the roof. And I'm just keeping it pretty light here. Leave a little bit of a highlight on the top. Just, you know, try not to just color it all the way to the edge. And, you know, of course, stay in each section. This one on here, this little side of the roof, that's going to be just a little bit darker because it's kind of in the shadow also. This little section back there. And we could just put a little of this color onto the chimney. Like so. Okay, I'm going to take my little twin tone and I'm going to just darken this little door handle here. Like so. And I think I'm going to go just a little bit darker on the side of the house. Just a little bit darker back here. You can see how that just sets that back into the distance. And this too. See how that brings that overhang over? It really makes a difference. Let's go a little bit darker on the door. Like so. And then you also, as important as this overhang shadow is, the shadow in the doorway. That's also really important because it sets that door back inside. So it's just a little, kind of a little arched shadow. See how that just put that right back inside? It's just, some of these things, you know, make such a difference when you just, as soon as you put it in, you're like, oh my gosh, that really made a big difference. Okay, so let's put in our window details, and I'm going to use my twin tone. I'm just going to use my blue one. And I'm just going to put in, oops, something on there. I'm just going to put in my little windows, little window panes. And you know what? They don't have to be perfect. And I'd never get them perfect anyway. So good thing they don't need to be. And nobody's going to look at it and go, oh, that little square looks like it's lower than the other one. No, no one's going to even think of that. These over here are literally going to be little straight lines because of the angle. So they're tiny little straight lines. And then this one up here, a little smaller window. And how cute. We've got our little house. Looks pretty realistic, huh? Marianne, thank goodness for using twin tone for doorknobs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my first doorknob was the size of Ohio. You know what? We have all been there. We have all been there. Oh my gosh. Yes, twin tones have saved my life. They really have. Especially switching from Marvies to Tombos, because their bullet tip is much bigger. Much bigger. So the twin tones really have made a difference. Okay, so we've got our little house done. And now let's go on to the ground and the little trees that we're doing. So let me just let me get my stamps out here. Okay. so I've got my little fence. This one here just came off of my block. All right, so I've got these and I've got my colors onto my palette. So I'm just gonna brush some color on here and then we're gonna put this little tree in to the side and on this side too. So I'm just gonna go back to my larger brush. Here it is. And I'm gonna just brush in some of this green, just really lightly, just kind of brush it in here on the side. And if you want to put a little of this blue in, just leave a little space here for that little water line when you're putting this color in. Just put a little space there. And then, you know what I did? I just kind of mixed these colors up. I just mixed a little blue and the green. And I just kind of brushed this in. And just, you know, never be afraid to mix your colors because that's really the fun part too. And I'm going to do just a mix of this too in the background, just a little cooler green. And just put this little hill back here. And I'm leaving kind of a little definition of a line here. So I don't blend all these lines together. Okay, so now let's put our tree in, and I'm going to use my 177 and I'm going to use my little tree like this. I'm going to turn it to the side. So normally we're using it like this and putting it into the tree, and we're putting the tree branches down first. But in this case, we're going to turn it and we're going to add those later. So we're making it more like a shrub, okay? So I'm going to just start out by doing half of it here. Just half of it, and I'm just going to stamp it just kind of here on the side. Just on the side of my little house. And then I'll just ink the whole thing, and I'll just put this one back here and just stamp it a bunch of times. Just kind of, you know, turn it a little bit because you're making just kind of a big shrub here. And then you're just going to take your brush and you're just going to add a little water to it. Just kind of dab. Not solid. You don't want a big solid, you know, blob of green. You just want to be able to see those little white areas. Okay, just like this. And we can drag some of this color down here too. We can drag some of this over. And actually we could put just a little bit of this color kind of next to the house here. Like this. All right, so now once these are dry, make sure they're dry. These little bushes are dry, and then we're gonna ink this little guy, but only the top part. So not this long part down here. We're just gonna ink the top part, and you can use a dark brown, like this, and put it up in the corner so you can kind of see exactly where you're stamping it. You can also use your positioner. You know, if you're not sure, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. But how cute is that little bush? See how cute that is? And then we can just probably put a little bit over here too. And that's really all we have to do. We're gonna just add some sky in here now, in the background. A little bit of it over here. And we have finished our first little canvas. Is that cute? Now the thing about this too is that, you know, when I finished my first one, I thought, you know what, that'd be really cute to just end it here and put a little note on it or put a little border down here, and you could put a sentiment here, and this could just be the whole inset in your frame, just like this. Just a simple little structure like this. You could put some little white paint in here in the background, some little white flowers, and it would just be so cute. So simple, you know, is good. Simple is good. All right, so let's put this aside. You know what? Let's do one more thing because I just like to kind of rough it up just a little bit, the house, and just pull a little of the color out so it's not like just pristine white and it looks a little bit more natural. Okay, so let's move this one aside and let's go on to our next one, which is this one. And here is our grass line. So we're going to put this in. We're going to put the water in, and really the water you can add it clear to the end if you want to. It doesn't really matter. So let's just do that. Let's just put in a little bit of this green in the background, just so that we kind of have a little boundary here of where everything's going. We're going to put that little gate in. So I just want to kind of keep it in this area. And then let's put some water in. Just kind of just brush it in. Just brush it right along that that water line. You can see I just used the two little boats, not the third one. Okay, we've got our water in. If you want to, you can put in a little shadow. That will really make a difference. And you want to just kind of bring it out like this. And then just bring it down here like that. So try to keep that line straight. Try to keep this line straight here. And the same with this one. Put that little shadow in there like that. And then this, it's going to be pretty dark here along the bank. It's going to be pretty dark blue there. So let's go ahead and put the grass in. We're going to use that same green. And we're just going to put this in kind of just along that bank. We're just going to kind of tap it in here just like this. Just tap it in a bunch of times. And then I'm going to leave just a little bit of a space with just not as much grass so I can put that little gate in. And then we're just going to pull this color up. It's so easy. You could just do a layer just of this, just grass, right in the middle. And then we could just kind of come just right along here and just get this bank in a little darker. And it will also kind of look like that's a reflection of the grass on there. And then let's go on to our little boats, the funnest part. So we're going to use some bright colors. You can make these whatever colors you want. Brighten up your whole canvas. So this is a 856, I believe. These pens are well worn, you guys, and this is a 933 orange. So I picked red and orange because, I just wanted to be super bright. So we're going to get this color on. Let me just turn my canvas this way. And my palette, and I'll put my red on here. So this is 856, and the orange 933. And like I said, you could use any color, any color. Maybe you would make this for somebody that has a boat and you know what color their boat is, so you could make it personalized. You could also just write it on there, which would be so cute. So cute. All right, let's start with the little red boat in the background. And I just did the bottom part of it. I just left the top white, but again, you could do it whatever color you want. Just add a little more color, a little darker red. I just always think that, I don't know, for some reason, when I think about a boat, any kind of a boat, I just think it's red. I don't know what that is, but I just always want to make it red. Okay, so we got that one. And then let's put a little shadow inside. So I'm just taking a little bit of the blue and I'm just putting a little, making this just a little darker inside this boat. Just like so. And then let's go on to the orange boat. And we'll just do the, kind of do the opposite with this one. We'll just do the top with the orange. And then I'm just going to kind of carry this color all the way around like this. In here. And you can, we didn't really pull any color out of the lines on these because they're so small. And we're going to do them with really bright colors. So it doesn't, you know, we didn't really need to do that. And we don't want them to get too muddied. So I'm just putting a little bit of blue in here on the inside. Just for just a little bit of a shadow. See how that just brings that down inside the boat, puts that line in. And then we can just put a little bit of this on the outside since this is going to stay white. And I'm going to take my little twin tone now and I'm just going to add a little darker color just kind of right in the corners. That's really where the darkest area would be if you're going to add any detail. You don't want to draw a dark line around anything. You don't want to do that. If you're going to add a little more dark color shaded area, darker shaded area, you want to just do it kind of in the corners. Just a little, kind of a little bit here and there. And this one, because it's so far back out there, see how that just kind of dropped that down inside. So just like this. And then we can add a little rope to tie them off when we put our little fence in. So here's the little fence. And this is what I mean by just putting it way up in the corner so that you can kind of see, you can get a really good visual of where that's going. And it's so much easier to position it. So let's just ink this. And I'm just going to stamp it right here. And then I need another post because it's kind of continues on. So I need another post. So I'm just going to draw one here. And then let's just put another post that's a little bit, looks like it's kind of a little bit out in the water. And we'll just kind of tie these boats off. Just like that. Really thin, a really thin line. You can see how thin that is. Let me just hold this up. You can see how thin that line is. Super, super thin. Just tying these little boats off. All right. And you know, we may have to add a little blue later, but I think we're fine as far as the blue and the first border goes, but we could just put actually just a few little lines in here. Like this. We're going to add some white to it too. Okay, so we've got our second one, you guys. We've got our second layer in, first and second. So let's go to our third layer. And I just stamped this little stump. It's probably about a ½ inch from the bottom of the paper, just right in the corner. So let's see if that's really, maybe it's a ½ inch. Yeah, it's about a ½ inch from the bottom of the paper if you're measuring, and it's just right against the edge. And then we're gonna cut around it if we need to, depending on where the grass ends up. So let's just start by pulling the color out of the lines. And I'm back to my number 4 brush. And I'm just really pulling that color from where it's the darkest in between, because these little ridges, you know, those are contours. So they're going to be lighter, the very tips. And that dark color is going to be down inside. This on the top should be pretty light up here because that's where the light is catching. So the sides are going to be the darkest. And we can add a little more color here too. So let's take some of this brown, the 969. And we'll just add a little bit more of this color on here. Keep the tops, again, you want to keep those tops pretty light and just kind of concentrate that color down in the cracks. Okay, and then I'm going to take my twin tone now and I'm going to get some dark areas in, some really dark areas, especially in these little cracks down in here. So down in here like that, when you add the darks, that's when it really just kind of pops. You can kind of really make some wider cracks up here in the top and, you know, kind of as it comes down, just kind of make it split apart a little bit. You can just add a little more detail too. You don't want to color it in solid. You don't want to color it in solid ever. And then if you want, you can just drag some of that color out with your brush. And I think that's good. That's all we have to do. So let's add some grasses now. We'll add some grasses in here. We can kind of tuck some in between some of these crevices. And then maybe we've got some more grasses down here. And then just kind of some in here. And down in here like that. And then we just add water. Just drag some of that grass. And if it bleeds out a little bit of that brown, that's okay. It's totally fine. It's just, you know, a little bit of the ground kind of showing through. Okay. And maybe we just take a little bit of this green and maybe we just make it a little mossy looking on this tree. You know, the more colors that you can get on these, it's kind of like the rocks too. The more color that you can add, the more realistic it's going to look. You just don't want it to be one single color. All right, so now let's put our little flowers in. And we're going to use a purple, the 636. And we're just going to color the blooms. And then we'll color the stems. And we'll just put these in. Color the stems again. And color these purple. You could mix up the colors too. You could put different colors in here. That would be really cute too. And let's just put in a few more. And maybe we just have some down here. And I think, you know what, I think just one more. Let's see if I can fit another one just in here. And you can see that when you add the water to it, it just activates that color and just makes it pop. So cute. And these, you know, the lighter ones, so the first, you know, the first impression is going to be darker, and then the second is going to be lighter and look like it's kind of fading back, which again gives us that three-dimensional look. Okay, we are finished with our first layer, our second layer, and our third layer. So we're going to let this one dry for sure, and then we're going to put some white paint on because we need some white paint. So Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White and my tiny brush. So I'm going to move this palette out of the way and move this big brush out of the way. Move the stamps out of the way. And let's get some white paint on here. So I'm just dipping my brush in water because I need to, you know, kind of soften this paint up a little bit. And then I just kind of, you know, bring it over to the edge like this. And then, you know, when the edge kind of gets really crusted up, I just use a baby wipe and just kind of clean it off. But I can kind of get the texture that I want. Not too runny, but you need to be able to still, you know, move the paint. So let's just put in just a little bit of white in the water. Like so. And then let's put some little white flowers in the background. We can just kind of make them in clumps, or you could just kind of put them wherever. And that's really all we have to do, honestly. I mean, if you don't get a crisp line, you can just go back over it. Let's just take out that darker line under there, actually. I think that turned out so cute. Okay, let's go on to this one. And, you know, we need some wildflowers in the background on this one too. So maybe just kind of growing down here on the ground. And this one's in the back. This is in the background now. So this is a distance away. So these little white flowers have to be pretty small. And maybe we just put some over here too. So cute. You can just kind of catch the light here on the edge of the roof. All right, so that is it for the first layer and the second layer. And now this one's dry, so we can put some little white flowers in here. And these can be a little bit bigger because this is now in the foreground. And these can just kind of be random. Put these wherever. You guys, yes, if you are, yes, we do sell, okay, I'm just seeing the questions here, Tina. Yes, we do sell the Dr. P.H. Martin's white, yes, on our website. If you would like to win this, you guys, I'm going to give away the frame and everything. So be sure to put in the comments. Be sure to put in the comments if you would like to win this, because I will put this in the drawing, the whole frame and everything. You guys, so fun. All right, so now let me clean my brush, close up my jar, and we can cut our little layers. I've got my glue handy, my scissors. So this one, of course, we aren't cutting. This is the one that they're all going to glue to, but we can actually get this out of here. We can erase the pencil lines, which is what we should do here, is just erase these pencil lines, get these off of here. This is all dry now, so. And then this one, let's get these pencil lines off. And then this one, we've pretty much covered up those lines, but I can still erase that. All right, so let's cut this one. And this one's going to be, you know, pretty straight. I mean, you can kind of cut it a little wavy if you want to, just for interest. And then you can kind of put this now onto your first canvas and see where it falls. Okay, so it's a little bit low on here, I think, because the first one might cover up. So let's just kind of look at it. But here's what I mean. You can just move it up. You can move it up to about here if you want to and position it a little bit higher. So let's put this one in. And this one, it's a little tall, I think. So I might just take off a couple of these little flowers. I might just take these off. And we'll just cut around this little stump. And now we can lay this one on and see if this is going to be a good location. And I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. So I think we'll move this layer up a little bit, move it up to here. But so you can always drop it down to here too. And just do a really small little layer. You just have a lot more room in here to put something. But I think that's just turned out so cute. Okay, so let's glue this down. Let's glue this down, and we're gonna just bring it up a little bit. So we'll bring it up to this point. Make sure it's straight on there. And lined up perfectly. Even just that is cute, huh? That would be cute just like that. You don't even need anything in the foreground. Oh, Samantha, that's so kind. She says, I wish I was half as talented. You know what, Samantha, you can do amazing work. I'm not even kidding you, because it's so easy now. It honestly is. And it's maybe a little bit of ability, but it's practice too. It's practice, just doing it over and over. Deborah, it's amazing. I know, I just love these little things. I think these are just so cute, huh? Now you don't have to do the layer. You could just stamp this. You could just stamp it just like this, but I think the layers just kind of add a lot to it. Okay, and let's put our little foreground in now. So these little guys, so you can kind of look at that and see if that's still a little bit too tall. You know, we could just take one more of these little flowers off. Let's just do this. Now that we're just kind of looking at it here. Because we've got a lot of little flowers on here, so it doesn't really matter that we're taking some of these off. Okay, let's glue this on. We're ready. We're ready to glue. And now this one's going to come down into the corner. Okay, look at how cute that is. Let's just, you know what? Let's just put it in the frame because I have this cut out. We could. Let's just put this in the frame. Sign. You know what? I didn't sign that. It is so important, you guys, that you sign and date. This is a, you know, one of a kind. You're never going to do another one quite like it. You know, even if you do this exact same thing again, it's not going to ever look exactly like it. So let me zoom out now. Whoops. Let me zoom out and let's put this in a frame. Okay, so here's what I cut because I have the mat, but the mat is too big. So the mat is a 3-inch opening. You see how big that is. That would not work. But we can place this now into our little frame like this. And then let's glue, actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. This will be easier. So we're going to glue this behind it like this. So I'm going to add some glue to my mat. Get my glue going here. I'm going to glue it just around the edge, just like this. And then for me, it's easier to just kind of lay it over the top so that I can see. Then I'm going to get it exactly even. You know, I'll be able to kind of move it so that it's, you know, even inside and straight. I mean, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. So now you can see that makes up the difference now for the canvas. And this is the exact size of it. So see, that fits in there perfect. Now this can go inside here. Like this, and then the canvas can go in here. Well, actually we need to glue it to something here. Let's glue it to this. Let's just glue it to this. So we'll put this inside like this, and then we just need to glue it down to the outside. So I can just use this for now. Look at this lady with the butterflies on her. Our watercolor thing is much cuter than this, huh, you guys? So I'm just going to trim this up, and then I'm going to glue this onto here. So you just want to find a little, you know, maybe cut another one of these so that you can glue to it. So I'm just going to glue this in here like this. And this isn't going to show, this paper won't show. But we just need something to glue the canvas to. Okay, so now we're just going to take this and add some glue around here like this. And glue it into here. And now it's in there and it's so cute. It's kind of popping up. You know what? If you make this, try this with a little bird on here. A little bird or a squirrel. That would be really cute to add that in the foreground. You could add any kind of little animal in there. And that would be so cute. All right, so now we can put this back in here. Put this in here. And then we're taking this out. So this is that plastic thing that comes with it, which I don't think we need. And then we'll put this back in. And we've got that mounted. Is that so cute? So cute. Twins. I've got 2 of them now. So I will be giving one of these away, you guys. So be sure to put in the comments if you would like to win it. Leah will pick a winner, as she always does. And we will give that away. So let me switch back over here. Let me see. Where is my... Here it is. Okay. Takes me a second, you guys. I'm still learning. You know, trying to teach a 66-year-old, it's, you know, it's no easy task. Ask Joel and Kim and Kendra. You guys, I hope you give that project a try. It was so fun. And then let me know if you try that little bird or try that little squirrel on that stump. I think that would be so cute. You could put absolutely anything in the foreground. A little bench, some rocks, more florals, just, you know, just grass. You could just have 2 layers of just grass, which would also be cute. So give that a try. Don't forget, you guys, this jewel is now available on our website, artimpressions.com. You will see it on the slideshow when you go to the homepage at Art Impressions, and it is now available. It has everything watercolor. So everything that has been released that is related to watercolor is in this catalog. So stamps, dies, everything for journals, everything for Bible journaling, everything for watercolor projects is now in here. Everything that we have released to date is now in this catalog. So you'll be able to see everything in one place. So get yours, you guys. You're going to want to get that. Okay, thank you all so much for being on with me. I always love being with you guys. And I will be back next week. Next week is Throwback Tuesday. So you guys, it's a really cute one. It's a really, really cute one. It might be close to one of my favorites. So you guys will have to stay tuned. On Tuesday will be Throwback Tuesday with a new project from way back when. And then, of course, Watercolor Wednesday the next day. So I will see you twice next week. Looking forward to that. You guys enjoy your day and the rest of your week. And I will see you all again really soon. Thanks for watching.